In this video, we'll look at the best decentralized crypto exchanges that are going to help you swap or trade crypto. There are different sectors within the industry which we'll go through because depending on what type of swap that you want to do, you may want to use one exchange versus another. So we'll go through all of that and then the most popular and highest volume exchanges in the industry, and I'll leave timestamps for all of this down below. The first type of DEX we'll look at is the AMM DEX, or the Automated Market Maker DEX. It's really the main type of exchange. You're going to be able to swap one token for any other token, and Uniswap and PancakeSwap are definitely the number 1 and 2 here. So Uniswap is really the main go-to exchange. PancakeSwap actually uses Uniswap code. It just kind of rebrands it and goes after a different segment of the market. But with Uniswap, what we can do is trade across most EVM chains. So in the top right-hand corner, you should see this. This is a list of the chains that you can use. So Ethereum, obviously the main one, which is very expensive, which is why people often use different chains and layer 2s on top of Ethereum, which try to reduce gas fees, because you're paying the exchange a fee and also the gas fee, and that is the cost of your trade. And so if you're just trading one asset for another, then you might want to use those cheaper chains, which a lot of people do. You cannot trade cross-chain, so you need your assets on one specific chain, and then you can trade assets on that chain. Once you have the swap that you've done, you can then withdraw assets to your centralized exchange or use a bridge to put it onto another chain. But you can't swap directly cross-chain as of yet anyway through Uniswap. So as an example, I'm on BNB chain, and if you have some assets in here, you can swap them. You can just go to the asset that you want to try and swap into, and it's going to tell you the exchange rate. Simple as that. You choose an amount that you want to swap, and then it's going to tell you this is how much of the other token that you get, and you can press swap. Now down here, you can see that the price impact is very low, and that means we're not going to move the price around too much. And we also have a network cost of 20 cents right here. So not too bad. If you're using Ethereum, then you may pay $10 to $50 per swap, which is why most retail investors will use those cheaper chains. So which one is going to give you the best trade is really where you want to go. The way that you really trade is actually looking at the tokens that you want to trade and then seeing where the best market is for them. So you can do that on something like Gecko Terminal, which is free to use, and it just gives you all of the data around the decentralized exchanges. So if we go back, what you'll see is that this is on Ethereum, and you can see all of the trading pairs, what is trading the most volume, and kind of the biggest assets on all of the exchanges. So if we go down here, you can see that these are the most popular trading pairs right now. So what you want to be doing here is looking where is the best volume, because that's probably going to be the best place to trade, because you're going to get the cheapest or the kind of lowest fees in between. So what you can do is click one. So I'll just click the top one, ETH against USDC, and it tells me that we're on Uniswap v3. As you can see up here, it says Uniswap v3. And the fee that's being charged on this pool is 0.05%. So very, very low. It's very liquid, very low, does a lot of trading volume, and you can see that here. Another thing you can do is make sure that you know that the assets in here are the real assets, because on decentralized exchanges, anyone can create any token, including fake ones. And so you don't want to, obviously trade a fake token. So on something like Gecko Terminal, they're going to give you the contract addresses of these tokens. And then what you can do is view these on Etherscan. So we'll click on this, and then you can view this contract. You can make sure that it's a real token with real trading volumes and everything like that. And so you don't get scammed by trading, some weird token. So all of the information is actually on something like this. And then this is going to tell you, for the assets that you want to trade, this is the exchange that has the most volume on it. So if we go to BNB chain, we can see right here, the highest traded is US dollar Tether against BNB. And it tells me that PancakeSwap v2 is the exchange that I want to use. So we can go over to PancakeSwap, connect our wallet right here, go to trade, swap, and you're going to be met with that token pair. So BNB against USDT. That's going to be the best token pair for these two assets. So what do you want to trade? And you can just see what is the exchange that gives us the most volume and the lowest fees for that. If you need to know exactly how to use Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and all the other Dexes in this video, I have specific video guides for all of them, which I'll link below. It goes through getting set up on the exchanges, using wallets, getting assets into your wallet. So if you need to know how to do that, all of those videos are below. I'll also leave links to centralized exchanges that give deposit bonuses and some other helpful videos as well, all down in the description. We're going to be looking at stable dexes now though. So what is a stable dex? A stable dex is a different piece of code, and it's really for two assets that have very similar prices. So for example, if you want to swap between USDC and USDT, which are two stable coins, they should have a price that is $1 and $1 because they're both US dollar stable coins. Or if you want to swap something like Ethereum and an Ethereum staking token, they should have pretty much the exact same price because they're actually the same thing. The staking token may have some staking rewards on it, but that isn't really important when actually trading the tokens. Now, the code that they write can actually give you a much better swap for tokens that are very similar versus tokens that have completely different prices. Won't go into the details why, but if you're swapping two tokens that are very similar, you may get a better trade by using a stable swap protocol. So let's go over what those are and how they work and what the best ones are. So stable dex, you have right here, Curve Finance is definitely the major one, and that's on Ethereum and some other scaling layers. And then PancakeSwap actually does this as well for some tokens. If you're using PancakeSwap and you're trading two tokens that are very similar, they will actually tell you down there, hey, this is a stable swap, so you're getting a better trade. As an example, I'll show you Curve Finance though, which is really the main one here. Up in the top, you can see Ethereum and then all of the scaling layers as well. So if you want cheaper trades on Avalanche or Arbitrum or Binance Smart Chain Base, you can trade on those. However, like I said, all of these chains are different, and so they have different tokens available and different liquidity profiles for the tokens that you're trading. But with these stable swap pairs, there's deep liquidity, which means if you're trading larger amounts of these, then it's definitely going to give you a better swap, right? The swap between them and the trading fees are going to be smaller and tighter, which gives you a better swap. So as you can see here, what they do is only use assets that are very similar in price. So the three pool here is DAI, USDC, and USDT, which are three stable coins, which should have a dollar valuation between them. So what we can do actually is look at where we actually want to trade, right? So again, we start from the assets that we want to trade, and then we find the best platform to trade them. As an example here, Lido staked ETH, which a lot of people trade. This is a staking version of ETH, so it pays some staking rewards. On CoinGecko, we can go down, we can look at the 24-hour volume, and we can see that Bybit is number one, which is a centralized exchange. It's going to be very, very cheap, easy on there. So nothing wrong with trading on a centralized exchange for that, and you trade there and then take out to your wallet if you want. But if you have assets in your wallet, Curve is the number one decentralized exchange for this asset. You can see the trading pair here is staked ETH and ETH. So we can go back to Curve Finance, and we know, I'm just going to swap to Ethereum here and then go to ETH like this. And we can see that the number one pair right here is ETH and staked ETH. So that will be, pretty good volume and cheap fees there. So you can click there and then easily swap from here. Then if you have some ETH in your wallet, you can swap that into the other product. That is usually going to give you a better trade because it's a stable swap. The main thing to be aware of when using decentralized exchanges is the trading fees and the gas fees. If you're using the Ethereum mainnet, you could be paying anywhere up to $50, $100 during peak times for an exchange. It's really an institutional chain, which is why most of us will use cheaper chains, Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon, something like that, that just reduces gas fees and therefore reduces the cost of our swap. So make sure you're aware of all of the costs before getting into any of these exchanges and putting assets into any of your wallets. These are trading fees for the exchanges in this video. Now, these change depending on what assets that you're trading, because each different liquidity pool can set its own trading fees. So this is a ballpark of what you'll be paying. For stable swaps, you're usually paying a little bit less. For two tokens that aren't similar, you're usually paying a little bit more. And then for the futures dexes, which I'll talk about now, you're paying around this much. This is a ballpark and can change over time. Fees are actually coming lower as competition is sorting things out for us, but it's trading fees and the blockchain fees that you have to be aware of. Now we'll get on to futures exchanges, which are becoming decentralized. So a lot of people trade futures. This is more for day trading or short-term speculation. Very different from swapping one asset for another. What we're doing here is essentially taking trades based on the price of crypto assets. And so there's different use cases for this. The first one is pure speculation. So you have some dollars and you want to speculate on prices. You can do that via futures dexes, which are much more set up for day trading and speculation on prices. The other way people use these is simply to hedge some of their positions. So a lot of people have assets like ETH, and during different market conditions, they may want to carry out different strategies that hedge their positions or take a little bit of risk off the table. And so you can use futures dexes for this, which they're really made for. Two of the main ones are Apex and GMX. I'll talk about GMX first. GMX is on the Arbitrum network and it's also on Avalanche. However, the vast majority of trading volume is on Arbitrum, which is an Ethereum layer 2, so a lot cheaper for your exchanges. Now, what you can do here is take positions on the price of assets. So if you click this, you can see all of the assets that are listed here. There's not many because futures exchanges are really only just coming on chain. You know, a lot of centralized exchanges have blocked these products for a lot of users because some of the rules around it's just not going to allow you to trade in certain regions. Now, on chain, that's why a lot of things are going on chain, because essentially it's decentralized and you can use it if you want because you just have assets in your wallet. So these are still very new. And the trading volumes and the pairs supported are pretty small in comparison to centralized exchanges. But it has a very familiar use case where you can either go long or short assets. So again, speculation on the price either going up or down. And for the most part, you use ETH or stablecoins for your trades. Now, what's good about GMX is it's pretty much one of the top exchanges for on-chain futures. And so there is pretty good volumes here. The downside of GMX is that each time that you trade, you have to go through with a blockchain transaction. That makes things a little bit clunky and a little bit slow, which is, slightly disappointing. Now, we're going to look at Apex, which is different. Now, Apex is a decentralized exchange from Bybit. So if you've ever used Bybit, it has a very familiar look and feel to it. I call it the on-chain Bybit, essentially, because that's exactly what it is. What you do with this, and this is a different type of technology, is you connect your wallet, and what you do is you use your wallet to send funds to the exchange. Now, this is on the blockchain. So what you're doing essentially is sending funds to your exchange account on the blockchain. And then when you trade, you're trading on the exchange, but you're not going through with blockchain transactions. And so this has a very familiar feel, just like a centralized exchange. What happens is that you trade just as normal, and whatever your balance is at the end, that will kind of be calculated. And if you want to withdraw your funds, you can then do that. So you're not actually using blockchains to trade, you're just using blockchains to send in and out your funds. So if we look at the supported blockchains here, you can see EVM chains are supported, but all that you do is simply deposit or withdraw funds. So I'll click deposit and it says, where do you want to deposit from? It doesn't matter. So if you're just going to deposit from Arbitrum, you can do that. Just send in an amount, connect your wallet. Or if you want to swap from another chain, maybe you've got some on Avalanche, you can swap. And then you can just see assets in your account and send them in. That's going to all be one balance within your exchange, and then you can pretty much trade exactly like you would on a centralized exchange. So there's different options here. This is definitely more for active trading and speculation, but a lot of people are using these because centralized exchanges don't allow it anymore. In the future, things known as DIDs will come in as well, which are decentralized IDs, which will check your wallet for your ID. So you don't have to give any of your KYC information to these exchanges, but they're going to have to check that you are allowed to trade these products in your region. So that will come in the future, but more and more people are using these now. If you do just want to swap one token for another in the best way, instead of having to look around all of the dexes, you can just use an exchange aggregator and they do it for you. So what they're going to do is for any token pair that you want to trade, they're going to say, hey, this exchange right here is giving you the best trades, so we're going to use that one for you. Now, most of the time, they don't actually charge you any extra for this either. So this is great for us. 1inch is an example. You can use the 1inch app. I'll link all of the exchanges below down in the description so you can see them all. But 1inch is also integrated in many wallets as well. So if you're using a wallet and swapping within the wallet, they may be using 1inch behind the scenes. So as an example here, I'm on the BNB chain and I want to swap BNB for another coin. And if we just drop down the swap mode, you can see if I go to the classic version, the route it's taking, it's using Uniswap v3. So that right now is the best exchange to trade this asset on. A couple of seconds ago, it was PancakeSwap. So it can change depending on what the absolute best price is right now as you're trading. So this is a way to get the best price for your trade. KyberSwap is another one, very, very similar. So I'm trading ETH for USDT and it's telling me that it's going to put my order into Uniswap v2. LlamaSwap is yet another. Again, just choose the amount that you want to trade, choose the token that you want to swap it into, and look, it's going to give you a list of them here. This exchange is the best one, which is Paraswap, KyberSwap down here, 1inch as you can see. So you can see what's the best trade for you at the current time. It's very easy. You don't have to, use all of these different exchanges. You can just go with one exchange, use that, and it's going to give you the best trade. A lot of these exchanges and aggregators are actually just used within wallets that you may use. So if you're using a hardware wallet like Ledger, you can go to Ledger Discover, and there are many apps that you can use there. So it's very simple. If you're using hot wallets on your phone, again, like Trust Wallet or Web3 wallets within the exchanges, if you have those, they make it super easy for you. So I'll show you an example here with Binance Web3 wallet. So if you want to know how to set up Web3 wallets on your exchanges like Binance, then I'll leave videos for that below. So these are a way to link your centralized exchange with a decentralized wallet. Of course, you can use separate wallet apps like Trust Wallet as well. But there are swap features within these apps. And again, you cannot trade cross-chain, but if you do want to swap one token for another on the chain that you regularly use, you can just do it right within your wallet app. So I'm on the Web3 wallet here, and in the middle it says swap, so I'll click that. And I'm on the BNB smart chain, swapping one token for another. And right down here it says the provider. So for right now, the best rate seems to be PancakeSwap. So I'll click that, and PancakeSwap is the best. Actually, 1inch is the best right now, right? So it's just actually beating out PancakeSwap by like 8 cents or something like that. So I can click 1inch, press OK, and now I'm using 1inch, right? And 1inch themselves may be using someone else or reducing the gas fee a little bit. So you can just see that here. So again, you don't have to go to the exchange app itself. These are being integrated within wallets that you're using. Whatever the best exchange rate is at the time, you can just simply use that within your wallet. But at least you know now what the exchanges are that you're actually using in here. There are a few more things to be aware of when using decentralized exchanges versus centralized exchanges. The first one is you always need to pay gas. So whichever blockchain that you're using, you need the gas coin on that network to pay for the exchanges. So if you're using BNB Smart Chain, you need BNB. If you're using ETH or its layer 2s, you need ETH. You always need that there. Now, some new types of wallets are actually becoming more popular, known as account abstraction wallets or smart wallets. If you're using one of those wallets, actually, you don't need to pay gas because they do it for you. And for a lot of tokens, you can actually pay gas kind of within the swap, and you don't need to worry about the gas coin. So if you're using one of those wallets, maybe you don't have to worry about gas, but if you're using a normal type of wallet, you will have to worry about that, and you can't swap unless you have the gas coin. The other thing to be aware of is that when you use decentralized exchanges, you are going to have to give them approval to manipulate the assets in your wallet. Now you have to do this because you have to let the smart contracts trade your tokens. However, it is good wallet hygiene to look at your approvals and you can withdraw your approvals if you're not using the exchange anymore. So you can go to a service like revoke.cash, I'll link it below as well. You can see for your wallet all of the approvals that you've given different exchanges. Now, if you don't want those approvals there, you can obviously withdraw them and delete them away from the exchange, and then nothing funny can happen with your wallets. So if you accept a fake exchange link or something like that, or you sign a wallet drainer, it possibly can drain your wallet if you have a lot of these approvals. If you don't have approvals there, it can't really do anything. So look at the approvals you've given and how much the approved amount is, because a lot of them default to unlimited, which isn't great. So you may want to limit these when you're trading. You have to approve the tokens, and then you can revoke the tokens on something like revoke.cash. Your wallet specifically may give you the approvals list as well that you can revoke. So just watch out for that when you're using decentralized exchanges. I'll leave the links below to all of the exchanges and the other helpful videos. I'm James, this is MoneyTG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.